All right, an Israeli activist and former NFL linebacker are teaming up to tackle maybe the toughest conversation in the country. And it's about post-October 7th world. I'm talking about since the attacks in Israel, especially as anti-Semitic protests and pro-Palestine encampments have cropped up at college campuses across the country. I want you to meet Noah Tishby and Emmanuel Acho, co-authors of Uncomfortable Conversations with a Jew, now the number 3 in the New York Times list, certain on its way to number 1. Welcome back, guys.
Thank you.
Noah, let me start with you. You had this project prior to October 7th, and it almost came apart on October 7th and afterwards. How?
Well, this is a great question. So I don't want to ruin it for people who are watching and are considering to read this book. But chapter 16 is called How This Book Almost Didn't Happen. And that is true. I think that the desire that we had to write this book and Emmanuel's idea to write this book called Uncomfortable Conversations with a Jew was in order to show everybody how to have uncomfortable conversations and come out on the other side better and more united than ever. So that's what happened right after October 7th. We had a major fight. We didn't talk. The book fell apart. And after we decided to come back together and write this, we figured we were going to put it all in. So this actually makes a very, how should I say it, intense chapter in the book that people absolutely love.
And fundamentally, people don't talk about race. They don't talk about religion. But you guys take it on straight ahead. You write, Emmanuel, in the book, did the post-October 7th world make me feel like a black man could be on the wrong side of history by helping a Jewish woman tell her story? No doubt about it. This collaboration will not be without backlash from my community, who may just see this as dancing for the man. And I'll be honest, that scares me, you go on. Do you want to expand on that and why you decided to go through and why you're glad you did?
Yeah, Brian, well, I believe there's too much ignorance in society. And so often we want to help different groups. We want to help black people. We want to help the Jewish community. We want to help the Asian American community, etc. But we don't know how to help them because we're not educated on those particular communities. So how in the world could I help the Jewish community if I can't even define anti-Semitism? Is there a Semite group that I'm supposed to be anti? I don't even know what anti-Semitism is. Is being Jewish a race? Is it a religion? That's why, Brian, quite literally, the first chapter is titled, What is a Jew? One of the first 5 chapters is simply, Did the Jews kill Jesus? Another chapter is very simply, Are Jewish people white? Because, Brian, though I knew writing this book would come with backlash, I would rather betray a certain people group who view me a certain way for writing this book than betray my own intellect. And I didn't want to continue to navigate society blindly. And so I wanted to write this book, but more than write this book, I wanted to learn what breaks Noah's heart, what breaks Jewish people's heart. And let me ask some questions that might make me seem anti-Semitic to someone who doesn't know my heart. But Noah was gracious enough to allow me the space to quite literally ask any question that anybody watching.
Right, and you do the same thing with race and religion with you. We'll get to that. So, Noah, why don't you answer the question for our audience? Is being Jewish more than a religion?
Absolutely, it is. And right now, what's happening on college campuses in America, I think everybody understands that there's a bit more to anti-Semitism that we previously thought. So in a nutshell, being Jewish, it's not just a religion, it's actually an ethno-religion. So it's more of an ethnic group. It's not necessarily a race, but it's an ethnic group in and of itself. And just for the people that are watching right now, there's a very interesting and intense and unpleasant cultural moment that is happening. This book, accidentally or by the grace of God, is actually delivering a lot of these answers. If you might be wondering what is happening right now on college campuses, why is anti-Semitism all of a sudden back with a vengeance? This book actually answered these questions as well.
Emmanuel, can you answer the question, being that you have this great relationship and did this book? Do you know what's happening on these college campuses?
Well, I believe that we all know what is happening on these college campuses. We know that there are protests. We know that there's unrest. And even more than there being legitimized protests pushing for peace, there's tension going on in the world because of a lot of ignorance. But what the book really expounds on is the why. What we expound on is the historical connotations that have led us to this point. It's not just October 7th that we talk about, but quite literally, one of the chapters is predicated on October 8th. The reaction to October 7th, which, if you ask many people in the Jewish community, was just as emotionally triggering as October 7th itself. So everybody watching, I would hope, knows the what. is going on college campuses, UCLA, USC, Penn, Columbia, amongst others. But I think what is just as important to ask is the why. Because once you understand the why, we can try to figure out some sort of solution, some sort of remedy, and everybody watching can understand how they can get involved in the fight for peace.
Yeah, I just think when I see a pro-Hamas American, I just don't know what they're thinking, except they're ignorant. It makes absolutely no sense, as we find out just recently, 3 more hostages' bodies right in Gaza. They did nothing wrong except for showed up to go to a concert. I want to play this and talk about if we're at a better place now and we're getting out of this whole cancel culture, especially when it comes to the third rail of religion. Here's Julian Edelman, outstanding wide receiver with the New England Patriots, having some fun at the Tom Brady roast. He's Jewish.
Fun fact, Jeff and I are both Jewish. The difference is I'm the kind of Jew that people look at and go, oh, he's Jewish? And Jeff's the kind of Jew that makes you want to join Hamas.
Can you laugh at that, Noah?
Can I what?
Can you laugh at that?
I can laugh at that. I think that Julian Edelman is a great representation of a proud Jew. And this is something that you can laugh at if you're coming from a positive place, and especially if you are within the community. If this would have been coming from the pro-Hamas protesters on college campuses, I would not be laughing as hard as I am right now. One of the other things that we talk about in the book that I'm so thrilled that Emmanuel was wanted to ask me about is Jewish stereotypes, which I loved that we talked about. And I think this is what Julian Edelman is kind of alluding to.
And you just whet everybody's interest and passion for getting to the bottom of this and gave them the courage to read this. You'll be better for doing it. Noah and Emmanuel, congratulations on Comfortable Conversations with a Jew, rocketing up the charts. Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for having us.
You got
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.